I don't know that you can really put into words what that diagnosis feels like until you've been there.
When Amy Heinley heard she had cancer, she knew her life wasn't the only one at stake.
I was 6 weeks pregnant, I was 38 years old, and I had stage 3 colorectal cancer. I did the only thing I knew to do. I got on my knees and I prayed.
A week later, Amy went into surgery where doctors removed 8 centimeters of her colon. Then, a few days later, Amy's doctor came in with devastating news. The cancer had spread. They could treat it with chemo, but it would come at a cost.
She told me that I had a 45% chance of survival if I had an abortion. Without an abortion, I had no chance.
Other doctors agreed, but abortion was not an option for Amy and Bobby.
What gives us the right to kill an unborn baby? You know, a baby that has every potential of living and becoming, you know, an adult. It's like myself, who gives us the right to make that decision?
And so many people will say to you, oh, I'm pro-life, except. Well, I don't believe in that exception. I was that exception. I was the mother that was told it's your life or your baby's life.
The couple sought out a second opinion. That's when they met Dr. Nikolonakis, an oncologist who prescribed a chemo regimen for Amy.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be entirely safe or, you know, but I had confidence based on other examples with breast cancer and other types of cancer that I have treated, that I think with the specific drugs that she would do well.
It's a different cancer than what some of the other studies he was looking at was different, but he said, I think it might work, and I won't make you any promises, but I will treat you if that's what you want.
Amy was 14 weeks pregnant when she started the treatments, but she and Bobby knew the outcome depended on God.
We were constantly praying. Prayer was a part of every day. I had people come up to me that I'd even know on the street that had heard about our situation and say, hey man, can I pray with you? And so they'd come and pray with me.
Maricia Parker, Amy's nurse during treatments at Athens Regional Medical Center, was touched by the couple's faith.
And I can just remember her husband saying, we already love this baby. And that just hit me really hard, that, you know, they already love this baby and they're gonna, you know, go through this really hard thing.
What made it more difficult was there was no way to determine what effect the chemo might be having on the baby.
There were no guarantees what could be happening to the baby, but we had a peace about it.
Even Amy's OBGYN, Dr. Sepisi, knew the baby was in God's hands.
You have to step back and say, I really wasn't doing anything. All I was doing was reassuring her that things look good, that I'm willing to be a part of this with you. I'm willing to do your C-section whenever it's time to do it.
After Amy endured 11 rounds of chemo, it was time for her scheduled C-section.
We had several pastor friends that were there, my husband, and they just made a circle around my bed and we just held hands and prayed over the baby, over the delivery. As
much as I wish I would do that with all my patients, it certainly was very profound that morning that that's something that we needed to do. And it made sense with everything that was leading up to that point, that we needed to continue to remind ourselves to give God the glory in all of that.
Joshua Hanley was born on August 28, 2010, in perfect health.
I just cried, overjoyed, thankful, so thankful.
Not only was my little boy healthy, my wife was alive. You know, and that was 180 degrees from what we'd been told initially. I was ecstatic. I mean, it was wonderful.
He was beautiful, she looked amazing, and she still had more treatments to go, but everything was just, it was just amazing. I just saw God's grace through that whole thing and how I don't always get to see that.
Now 5 years old, Joshua is a typical active boy.
So to me, the miraculous things are equally that you've got this cute little 5-year-old who's running around seeming to act like everybody else.
That child's going to grow up to be a man one day and have a full life and a family that really loves him is, to me, extremely gratifying. I don't see that a lot. For me, that was extraordinary.
As for Amy, the chemo was a success, and there's been no sign of cancer since.
We know that the Lord is bigger than any situation we could ever be in. It doesn't matter what's going on. If you're in the Lord's will, you're in the safest place you can be, regardless of the outcome of anything. If you're in God's will, that's where you want to be. And the Lord's in control of all that. We know that.
God is always in control. And the thing I have learned is I don't have to understand what He's doing. He does not have to make sense to me. I just know God sees the beginning and He sees the end. He's got it all worked out, and I trust that His will is perfect. And there is a peace in that. And He can be trusted to take care of the circumstances, even when they don't make sense to us. Trust Him.